Welcome to the Inner Athlete Podcast, where we help young athletes, parents, and coaches build strong, resilient, and high-performing athletes for sport and life. I'm Trent Pirihi, head strength conditioning coach and founder of Inner Athlete. Each episode, we break down the training, mindset, and habits that actually matter, from strength and speed development to injury prevention, confidence, and long-term athletic growth. Whether you're a parent trying to support your child or an athlete chasing their potential, you're in the right place. Let's get into today's episode. Welcome back to Inner Athlete Podcast. I've got another special guest here today, Felix Dressel de Bruyn. Is that how you pronounce your full name?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I want to get that off to a good start. Felix is a national or international level swimmer. He has been competing internationally. The reason why I've actually brought Felix here today, well, number one, he's been an athlete. I've been coaching for the last, almost 3 years now, or coming on to 3 years, literally. But, being able to see his journey from where he was as a 15-year-old, now 18, and, moving on to, bigger and better things, internationally. I think he has, a lot of insights. Well, I think you've got a lot of insights that you can bring, not to just to the parents, but also to younger athletes, but across the different sports. But, your sport is swimming, which we're going to get stuck into more specifically. Just to give you a bit of an idea, with Felix, he's actually just recently signed with the University of Kentucky. Exciting times, a big D1 program over in the US. Competed in the Australian Swimming Championships and the Com Games trials, racing against Australia's best swimmers as well. Which we'll talk about that experience. And now he's also a coaching junior swimmers and continuing his own development as an elite athlete. But what I want to get started off with, when people see where you are today, they see someone who signed with a Division I program, the NCAA, in the United States, and has raced against some of the biggest swimmers in the world. What they don't see is the journey. If we went back to the very beginning, who was Felix before swimming became serious?
Well, really, I didn't take it too seriously.
That's the irony.
Yeah. So for swimming, I would say I was forced to do swimming. I didn't really have too much of a choice. But my siblings, on the other hand, they had more of a choice. So my parents sort of were a bit more lenient, if you don't want to do swimming, then you can do a different sport. But for me, I sort of just did swimming, and it was fun. Got to meet new people. But yeah, in terms of what I'm doing now, being quite deliberate with my training, it was sort of just following the coach, doing what the other kids were doing, try to fit in, and trying to make my parents happy. Yeah.
But did you, even though that you were you felt like you were forced to do it, or you didn't have much of a choice, do you still enjoy it though? Yeah. But initially I didn't like it too much, but when I started to compete more competitively, and sort of build those friendly and also unfriendly rivalries, I did sort of enjoy the sport. So I knew I had to beat this guy. I had to beat this kid. So I had to keep training. And I sort of just learnt to enjoy it. Yeah, so it wasn't until you became a lot more competitive.
Yeah.
That's when things started to get a little bit more serious.
Yeah, and I started getting more involved with the sport. Yeah.
Interesting. Because, to be honest, when I first met you, I didn't think that you were, I guess, I knew you were competitive, but you're the silent type. The kind of head true. Down, someone who's just in the books, or gets the work done. Might ask a couple of questions in private to coaches and what do I need to do? What are some things I need to focus on?
Yeah, I've changed dramatically. So I've always been quite a quiet kid, but in my mind, I was still very competitive. Yeah. I wouldn't necessarily show it, but I'd always want to beat the person next to me, and that was just my mentality back then. Yeah.
Were you more competitive with yourself though, first, or you were just
no?
I reckon I can.
It was purely more of a prideful thing. It was just sort of I need to get this kid.
Okay.
I know that I'm better than him, but it wasn't more I should really focus on sort of self development. I need to compete. I need to compete with myself before, you know what I mean? Like my best. I need to beat my best.
Yeah.
And not try to chase somebody else's time because their circumstances are different from mine.
Because well, now it's kind of the opposite now, where you're a bit more like diligent in your own development.
Yeah.
When was that switch kind of flipped?
It was quite, I wouldn't say quite recently, but it was definitely when you started to come in, because I had a gym coach, by the way, awesome gym coach, Kimball. It was mostly like just heavy lifting, and it wasn't too much on focusing on the more intricate stuff. And so with the more intricate stuff, it was more specialized, I'd say. And with the more heavy lifting, it was sort of like, I'm trying to lift heavier than this guy. It was more like an ego thing.
Yeah.
But with you, it was more like specialized. It's lighter weights, but it was more intentional with your training. And so you started to think, okay, I need to like focus on this, a bit of this and a bit of that. And you started to think more, you started to reflect on more yourself. And instead of like, I need to beat this guy.
Oh, look at you becoming an adult. Yeah, I think when I first came into the program, this is going back 23, I think. Yeah, 23. 2023.
Yeah.
It was about 3 years. 3 years ago. Obviously, everyone's used to kind of lifting as a group, kind of competing against each other, which I think is good to a point. But I think one of the things we needed to kind of address is, when I look at programs, so the Soccer World Cup's a really good example of, is when you look at a lot of if you look like South Korea or Japan, you look at a lot of their programs, a lot of the kids are doing like the same stuff. Mm-hmm. And a lot of those kids, it's all because they're one nationality, right? Coming into MSC, it was like everyone is like different builds, different backgrounds, different training history, different injuries.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to go from an approach where it kind of hits everyone like about 80%, and there's going to be a lot of nuances. There's going to be a few nuances between swimmers. Obviously, some swimmers, breaststroke is a very specialized stroke, right? Compared to freestyle and fly. Most sprinters will do free and fly usually. But what I found is those who have there's always something different with every swimmer. So I was like, okay, well, we just need to kind of cater a little bit more to what their needs are. So then we can actually start to address that specifically, and then that becomes less of a limitation rather than just like lift as a group and lift heavy, because not everyone can actually do that anyways as well. So just a little thing from that perspective. But when did you know that you were talented with swimming? Because this is like a parent's, or even like any athlete, right? It's like, when do they know they're like actually like, I'm actually pretty good at this?
I think the turning point where I thought, I sort of believed that, hey, this could actually go somewhere, was when it was like a very particular moment. I had Brad Harris as my. He wasn't my main coach, but he still coached me with Lex, and this was with Vic Center. This was 2019, I think, 2019 to 2021. And he believed that I was talented. He first thought that I could go far with my training, but back then I was sort of just just playing around and not caring too much.
You didn't see what he saw.
Yeah. Basically, he saw the potential. I didn't see the potential, and during that time, I wasn't wearing the best gear, and all my other friends and competitors, they would be wearing like the top-notch performance stuff.
Yeah.
And I was sort of just still introduced into the competitive side of stuff. So I just had basic gear as the in between normal bathers and then those performance suits. So it was like a grey zone, where entry level gear basically. And I believe Brad had Mac Horton's like gear, like bathers. I think he was doing like some kind of donation thing. But basically, he came up to me one time and he said, you got potential, and I believe this will this will help you, or something like that.
Help you realize your potential.
Yeah. It was amazing. Like, this is like, I didn't really. All right, to be fair, I didn't really care too much that it was actually Mac Horton's bathers. My parents were like so amazed. Like, this is Mac Horton's bathers. You look after them. And I was sort of just thinking, like, this is like the performance suit. This is what's going to get me to the next level. And then it sort of just sparked from there. I actually have the bathers here, and
the show and tell, hey?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
The colors, I really like the colors. Yeah, they're a bit used because I had to use them. I didn't really preserve them. Yeah,
well used. Yeah,
well used. Yeah. But I just with this, it was like, hey, this I've got something that could be even better or can compete with others that have sort of similar style suits, and it was no longer me getting stuck with the mid-range stuff.
It kind of felt like you were a bit more of a level playing field.
Yeah.
With the rest of the competition, and then just to kind of like, I'm not totally aware of, like, obviously we had the era of the super suit. When it comes to the equipment, when Ian Thorpe was around, obviously they got banned because it was so good.
It's too buoyant.
Yeah, literally, they sit so high out of the water. Just talk to us, like, how much of a difference between like your normal training togs versus like your actual your performance suits? Like, what do you feel the difference is? Like, how can you tell the difference between just normal training togs to
buoyancy?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's well, if you're on the surface of the water more easily, you can just glide and you use less energy. I mean, that's how I felt. It works. It's very beneficial for the 200s because I do max 200. I'm not going further than that. 400. Leave that to my brother. But so it's conserves energy, and I think this is water just glides off it easier. So, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it's just technology.
Just technology?
It's technology in sport, really.
Yeah.
But, no, I appreciate it, bring that in.
But I don't remember the particular time drops with the suit, but it was more that, I had a suit that I can compete with, and it's like, this is it.
If you're getting value from the Inner Athlete podcast, make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a review. It helps more parents and young athletes find the right guidance and keeps this podcast growing. Back to the show. It's like
Brad believes in me, so I need to show my skill off. This is like, I actually have potential.
It's like the movie Like Mike. Have you seen that before? No. So, but I think it's like a Disney movie, but it was back in like the 2010s or something. This kid was given like Michael Jordan's shoes.
Yeah.
And then he started like, this kid's like, I don't know, 13 in the film or something, and he starts like flying, dunking. Okay. Something dunking, like starts like dunking, or like he starts just playing like Michael Jordan, essentially. So it's kind of like still similar to that, but just, I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, it's just it's a movie, anyways. But it's more the belief that it actually gave you. It's like, okay, this coach sees me. He's actually doing something that he probably normally wouldn't do.
Yeah, I've got potential.
That you got potential, and obviously he's, you stuck it out as well. Because potential is like, there's a strength coach in the US, and his name's Mark Bell. He's actually an inventor as well. He's created a few products. He's in the strength world, the powerlifting world, and he's transitioned out of that and more to like the general health and well-being space. But he said potential is like also means you currently suck.
Yeah. Okay.
They see that you have the pillars and the building blocks, not so much from a physical standpoint, but more from from being a coachable athlete. You're doing all the right things on the outside, or majority of the right things on the outside. When it comes to a training perspective, your development is something that is considered being more consistent as well. Because I find that a lot of athletes, if they're just like, there's always going to be up and downs, throughout a competitive training cycle when it comes to competition. But when you look at, are they actually building upon from season to season? I think that's the biggest thing for a lot of junior swimmers, or any athlete for that matter. It's like, are they actually building upon, finding out, they go to nationals, they compete at nationals, are they reflecting and reviewing what they did at nationals, and then how are they looking to build upon for next season moving forward as well. Like, number one, do they actually want to compete in the next season? And then number two, it's okay, if I'm wanting to be competitive, what do I need to do differently?
Yeah.
Or what do I need to do the same of moving forward?
Yeah. The sort of drive you need to take the next step, because you could be an awesome athlete, but you might not take the precautions, or take the sport more seriously, or that next thing that will get you to a PB or an opportunity to go overseas. You stay at the same level. Or you're right, coachability. You might not gel with your coach, or you might not take him seriously. If he might give you something to work on, you just don't work on it. Then how else are you going to improve? Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and I think for you, I think we've kind of had more of a coach-athlete relationship, where you have asked me questions along the way. It's like, well, what's this going to improve on? How's this going to help with X, Y, and Z? Why are we doing this? I remember the first time we introduced activations for the first time as well. When you're like,
I was skeptical.
Yeah,
I was one of the skeptical kids, because I came from a background where it's just heavy lifting. Who can lift the heaviest? Back squat, hip thrust.
Yeah.
It was just purely power.
That used to be my background as well.
Yeah.
Just lift heavy.
Yeah.
But I found that lifting heavy is a part of the process. It's not the be all and end all. And I think there's the point where training hard only gets you so far, when you have to train smart in order to help you train harder. And then you have to go through that cycle consistently as well. I've got to train smart, train hard, and just flip back and forth between the two. The one thing I found, teaching the activations, and I think did I get you on the table or your brother? I can't remember now. This is when I was doing the demonstration at St. Cath's.
It might have been me.
Yeah, I think it was you actually. And then all we did was, I went through the activation, a couple of activation points, and then I think the hamstring flexibility just start to really increase, and your strength started to really increase. And I think I picked on you because I know, all right, because you were the top one of the top swimmers at the time, or still are anyway. But the reason why I picked you, because if you bought into it and you're like, all right, this is actually helpful, and then the rest of the other swimmers would actually start to buy into the process as well.
Yeah.
If you felt the change, you saw the change, or whatever it was, that everyone else will start to buy into that process as well. And lo and behold, it helped.
Yeah.
After all these years of working to get, to push it into the club, and we don't do it all the time as such, but everyone has the resource available in order to do it on their phones, and they can watch the video, and I think the biggest thing with the activations, I've spoken about it at length on a multitude of podcasts as well. It's something that you're already slapping yourself on the back, on the legs, on, I don't know, wherever, on your arms. Yep. So you might as well do something that's actually going to get you feeling light, fast, and twitchy, when you're in, behind the blocks. And kind of almost like for some, and it goes back to my story. Did I ever tell you about the Elsa?
The what?
Elsa. So, anyways, it was at state sprint champs. And then Elsa, the Elsa story, right? She qualified in lane 8 as well. So obviously, if any swimming fanatics or non-swimming fanatics are out there, if you're in the outside lanes, you get a lot of the draft of the water, so it can actually slow you down. Obviously, you wouldn't be in lane 4 or 5.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, depends.
I've had some miracles almost happen in lane 8 and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, this is the miracle in lane 8.
Okay.
So anyways, there was a delay of start for whatever reason, and Elsa was behind the blocks, and I think it was 8 MSC girls in the actual final.
Okay, yeah.
Anyways, I told her, because I've done some work with her with the activations, and I told her, go through the activations whilst you're waiting, because everyone else is just kind of I don't know, losing their attention, or you losing their focus. You only have a small window of focus, right? And then with the activations, it kind of almost helps you to bring it back in. But she was, and then the race happens. She gets a really good start, so she's up with whoever's in lane 4 and 5 at the time. And I'm watching the race. I'm like, oh, she's actually in for a good shot. And lo and behold, she actually gets the win from awesome. Lane 8. So, she was super pumped about that. And I think it was because I had done some work with her and she's had some restrictions in the past, it's actually enabled her to actually swim quite well.
Wow.
From that, so it's a funny story.
Could you talk more about the short window of focus? Because I know how I prepare for. I know we're skipping ahead a bit, but how I prepare before a race is different from some of the more elite athletes and also some of the more state level, pretty much everywhere. Because I'm more of a reserved, and as soon as I have my goggles on, no one's talking to me, and I'm just focusing on the race. I'm thinking through the steps to go about.
You're mentally rehearsing.
Yeah,
it's mental rehearsal. So I'm not a psychologist by any means, sports psych. Well, do you want to go through your race prep? How about that?
Yeah, okay.
And then we'll go from there.
Race prep.
So like from marshalling area to going behind the blocks.
Oh yeah, you have to keep warm. So one of the things Ian talks about is that it's better to do a warm up closer.
Pause for a moment.
Yep.
Ian is Felix's current head coach.
Yes. It's better to warm up closer to your race, so you retain some of the body heat, and obviously it's more effective. And so as soon as you hop out of the warm up pool, you're getting dry, putting on clothes. Sometimes if you have a bit of honey, take that 15 minutes before your race. So keeping warm. And then when I'm in the marshalling room, I sometimes chat, but when it's close to my race, I put my cap and goggles on and I'm just not talking, just thinking.
You have just listened to the Inner Athlete podcast. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date with the release of weekly episodes. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram to get great tips on all things youth athlete development and youth mentoring.